love a movie that shows you the ending of the film right in the trailer, and that would definitely be our second movie of the night, Demonoid. But first things first, welcome back, Sam. Sorry, an inopportune introduction.
Hello.
Hello, Sam. Did you see that Mike Justice is on the show tonight?
I did. Hello, Mike Justice.
Hey, I didn't see you. How's it going?
How's it going?
He was there the whole first segment, Mike.
I know.
Bill was really upset that you didn't record a drinking video.
I know. I did record it, and I didn't send it to Bill because I was nervous about my match, and I wasn't thinking. I was all focused on this match, and then
I called and left a long and rambling voicemail on Sam's.
it was scathing. Scathing. Bill got my outgoing message, which was the "Nobody's home." He got that one. the old commercials. So I don't know why they don't sell those for cell phones, but whatever. Nobody leaves voicemails anymore. Maybe that's it.
I can't remember the last time that I had a funny outgoing greeting or anything. Like nobody calls anymore.
Yeah.
No.
It's
I have one or two people that call me and leave messages, and that's it. And it's my parents. That's really about it.
Yeah, I have an uncle who calls, and he'll always time, date, stamp. He'll be like, "Okay, well, it's Sunday. It's about 5 p.m." And I'm like, you don't have to do that in like the last 40 years. Like it'll say what time you called.
Becca's dad used to send me texts that were full letters. They'd be like, "Dear Sam," and it would be like, but everyone even replies. And I'd be like, you can. We're just in the middle of a conversation. You can just send me.
Uncle.
Yeah, he would sign his Facebook post too, the same way when he did a Facebook post. He'd be like, "Dear everyone," and then he would always sign it. Your friend Neil.
Quick, spoil the movie for Paul Doliner before he leaves.
Oh no, don't spoil it.
Yeah.
Oh man. So you guys got to watch Evils in the Night, which I love and I didn't get to see, which has so many people in it. So many wonderful people.
It was a first time watch for me.
What'd you think?
It was weird. It was like I was more kind of, it was one of those movies where the whole time I was watching it, I was really curious about how it was made, because the script and the staging is so kind of idiosyncratic, and I'm like, okay, so they must have had like Aldo Ray and Neville Brand for like 3 days, and they could only shoot in this one location. And then they had like these other people, and then they were like, okay, well, we have all these like middle-aged ex-stars. Like, how can we get people to come in? I know, tits. Well, this other movie had like this amount of boobs in it, so let's triple the amount of boobs, and we'll surely make triple the amount of money. Like, it was, the whole movie was like that. I was just kind of just looking at it like, who made this and how? What were they thinking? Like, that was what I was mostly about.
I said in my review of it, I said, if you like Sex in the Woods looking as fake as possible and being completely gratuitous, get ready for this movie. I said, it feels like porn sex could break out at any minute, but the only penetration comes from the aliens.
Right. Yeah, it was the most exploitative movie I've ever, like, they were shameless. Like, they didn't even try to have like any sort of plot. Although they would have like that weird thing where it was like the girl and her boyfriend were like, talking about getting married. I feel like that was because, that was their audition scene and they had to work it into the movie or something.
They didn't get a little bit of acting business. Like, what will your monologue be?
Yeah, nothing, my boob.
Yeah. Definitely the best line of dialogue.
What would your monologue be? And my monologue is always from the worst movies. Do you know what I mean? Like, my monologue is the killer speech from.
Well, my monologue is Mrs. Voorhees.
Yes.
Oh my Lord.
This place.
There were several Mrs. Voorhees moments in this movie. One of them happened with Tina Louise, where they were very stupid about who they trusted in this movie, because just take one look at her and you can tell she's a little out of place in this little rundown hospital. And God knows where this was supposed to be.
She's literally the movie star from the credits.
We were talking about her earlier, about how she, I always say she's the one that looks the most uncomfortable about being in this movie. Mm-hmm. But she also was in a couple other movies that were probably a lot worse than this, or at least worse regarded. One of them being Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah. But I love that movie.
Me too.
I don't care. I don't care how bad it is. It's like, when you have a cousin that like is a real fuck up and he's like always overdosing, but you're like, you know what? He's going to get it together. That's that movie to me. Like, I know he only works at 7-Eleven now, but he's doing something. And that's how I feel about that movie. They all live in a casino that's also their house. Okay. Yes. How have we not shown that movie?
Do you remember the sequels, like in the 80s, like Splash 2?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like the TV movie sequels to, like, they never
there's a Jerk 2. Jerk Comet 2. Yeah.
And they never rerun those, because I've always been curious in my adult life. Like, I want to see Splash 2 and see like how bad it is, or if there's any redeeming qualities to it at all. And it's like they buried it.
Was it made for cable or broadcast TV?
It was like Disney. It was like a Disney movie of the week or something on channel ABC.
Cruel Intentions 2 was going to be the series for Cruel Intentions. And they're like, yeah, this isn't going to work. Let's just take what we filmed already and make a movie out of it.
Right. Yeah, it was like a pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of any time, like any sequels like that, like the Animal House series that they did for like 7 episodes, Delta House in 79. Like, who thought how would that even run on regular TV? But they did.
Yeah, I know. It's like they'll take something that's obviously very raunchy or whatever, and they tried to do. I remember they made like Disney did like a sequel to Romeo and Michelle or something.
Yeah.
Which was like, aimed squarely at 9-year-olds who didn't really match the tone of the first movie.
There's a Blue Thunder series too, and it was like, what? Like, Blue Thunder got run over at the end of it. Now Blue Thunder, it's all a good thing. Like, Blue Thunder is very subversive and anti-cop, and the series is like, this is a great idea for the cops to have this helicopter.
Yeah. I think they missed the point of the movie.
Yeah. Like, it's definitely like a political conspiracy thriller, not so the series. The series is like, we're going to make toys, and Bubba Smith's going to be in it.
Jerk 2 was Mark Blankfield. Yes.
Oh, of course it was.
Stay tuned for Mike Justice and I's new podcast, sequels that shouldn't be.
Right. And TV adaptations. Like, I hate when they retcon the ending of a movie, just like for Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. They're like, the scenes of her being single and working in the diner were our favorite part, so we'll just make that her life now. Or they tried to do a TV series of Working Girl where they just sort of like made her back. That. Yeah, it would have been more fun if it would have been her and Jack like running around doing business deals and being like moonlighting or something funny, like crashing weddings and everything. But they were like, no, it's actually more fun to just have her be working in a shitty office.
Remember Revenge of the Stepford Wives?
Oh, yes.
That was another made-for-TV sequel that retconned the ending.
That's directed by, what's his name from Dr. Phibes? Anton First directed that TV movie.
Starring Dawn Johnson.
And The Devil's Reign, the same director.
Julie Kavner.
Yeah.
She's in that.
And remember the Stepford Kids?
Dawn Johnson's in it, yeah.
The Stepford Kids made no sense at all, because ideally, if you have children, you want them to grow up presumably. And like if they're just robots, they're never gonna, amount to anything.
When I hear Stepford Kids, I think it's like a Hanna-Barbera spinoff, like where it's animated and like these wacky Stepford Kids, they're getting in all sorts of hijinks.
Yeah, like the Flintstone Kids or something.
Yeah.
Stepford Children takes the big plot loophole in the original film, which was these men are murdering their wives and they're replacing them with robots. But I mean, eventually the jig is going to be up. I mean, you're going to be 90 and she's still going to be 30 years old or however old, and you're going to have to explain that to somebody. Like, it's going to come out that you have a robot for a wife, a child. How much more,
Is that how Small Wonder happened? It was a spinoff.
Right.
That's expensive. You'd have to keep making a different robot for every stage of your child's life. It's like, well, she's got to be a teenager now, so the new model comes in.
Yeah, it's our daughter has some strange version of Progeria where she just looks like she's 9 forever.
Yeah, well, it was like that the parents wanted kids who they could be proud of. Like they would kill their kids and replace them with robots who were like on the honor roll and doing like cheerleading, which could only, I mean, the glory of having a kid who's popular in school and who's part of like all the, like that's very fleeting. Like then you'd want them to go to college and then you'd want them to become professionals and presumably to support you in your old age, which doesn't work if they're robots,
I just want a bumper sticker that says my other son is a Stepford child. You have like one honor roll one and then a Stepford child bumper sticker underneath. Like, we killed the other kid so that he would be better.
Get a bumper sticker that says Casey Anthony had a point or something.
Controversial.
Right.
Andy Blue brought up the Nightmare on Elm Street series, which is like everything on Tubi right now, Freddy's Nightmares. And it's coming out in Germany on Blu-ray, which someday it'll come out here. But yeah, Freddy's Nightmares. I actually like Tobe Hooper directed the first episode, which is the origin of Freddy.
Oh, with those twins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife loves the cutting edge movies, no matter how many they make. She's a big DB Sweeney fan, as you can see in the comments. So I do love whenever we put on a movie and my wife just mentions how hot a guy is for 2 hours. It's good. It's good to have that kind of ego balance, I think.
DB Sweeney?
Yeah, she's into DB Sweeney of that era. Yeah.
Right. Do you remember
Maybe now? I don't want to test it. Hopefully not anymore.
Do you remember that like thriller that DB Sweeney and Marley Matlin were in the 90s? Remember when there was like Madeline Stowe played a blind woman in Blink, and then Marley Matlin played a deaf woman being stalked by Martin Sheen, and like this movie, and DB Sweeney was her like cop lover or something.
There's a whole genre of that where it's like damaged woman, something's wrong with her. Copycat's another one, but I like Copycat a lot.
Jennifer 8 with Uma Thurman. She was blind.
Jennifer 8.
Yeah.
That movie is. I jumped out of my seat when at the ending of that movie, where the scene where he thinks he's gonna get her. Is it her? No, it's not.
I was mad it didn't turn out to be like a guy in a wig like the end of Nighthawks.
Sylvester Stallone.
The end of Nighthawks got me so much.
Yeah. Oh, I was so afraid he was going to kill the bionic woman, but it was just Sylvester Stallone and Jamie Lee Curtis's wig from Halloween 2.
Oh, yes.
I was mad that he took the wig off before he shot him. Like he was like, the jig is up, and takes the wig off. I'm like, no, leave it on. That's fun.
Wasn't it? It was half on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Nighthawks, actually. I really dig that movie. That's an HBO favorite. I always enjoyed watching it.
They probably made him take the wig off because they knew there were some members of the audience that would be too dumb to realize it was Sylvester Stallone.
Stallone always has to reveal, like Judge Dredd never took his helmet off ever until Stallone played him in the movie. 2 minutes in, the helmet's off. Like Stallone's like, everybody wants to see this face.
If I was Stallone, I would have fought to shoot him while wearing the wig.
Yeah. I just got mad because it was like he wouldn't stay in drag for the rest of the movie, which is like the part that I just thought was the greatest. So,
oh man, so Evil's the Night.
Yeah, it had a fantastic love theme sung by Eddie Mecca, the Big Ragu.
Oh, that's right, man.
I think
also
Tracy
Julie Newmar's in it too, who was a lingerie inventor when she wasn't being Catwoman, which is pretty astounding.
She was. I did not know this about Julie Newmar.
Yeah,
Please
she
continue.
some of her bios listed she invented different forms of lingerie. I imagine it was the Frederick style that was like, I don't think that's comfortable, and I don't think that anybody's ever worn that outside of the catalog kind of lingerie. I don't think that she would invent anything very prim or proper.
She's probably a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah, and I mean, one of three Catwomen from the series of Batman. In 2 years, they had three Catwomen. That should tell you how hot that show was. And obviously, you said that Tina Louise was like upset at being in this. I can tell you who wasn't upset being in it. John Carradine. He was like, he probably like consoled her between scenes. He's like, these movies happen all the time, and you have to do them. Then he went to hug her with his gnarled up hands, and he said, "It'll be all right," and he hugged her.
You should see some of the shit I've been in.
Yeah. They may, even after I die, they will release movies and say that I'm alive.
I just keep picturing he's like giving her like the grandma in the original Star is Born, the one that they show clips from in Creepshow. We froze in the sun, winter and we burned in summer, but we kept going and we didn't complain. That's John Carradine like telling Tina Louise to like get off her high horse and just appreciate her job.
He's like, yeah, you know what? You're a working actor now. You're not on Gilligan's Island. And you've been doing Tough Lover. He's like, you were hot once, but you got to do stuff now. He's like, go talk to Neville Brand. He knows.
I was wondering when she had scenes with Aldo Ray and Neville Brand, if she was looking at them and being like, am I out of your league? Or are we all in the same boat? I can't tell anymore.
They all had moments in their career where they were like top, like Neville Brand was Al Capone on The Untouchables. Like that was the biggest role in the, in the late 50s. He was like in a big, but now they're in Evils of the Night.
Not Tina Louise, though. I mean, when was she ever that huge?
Like 3 years on Gilligan's Island. That was a hot show.
Did she ever like get any like? Was she ever nominated for like an Emmy for something else, or did she ever have anything?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think that she ever had a theatrical film that she was, known for. I think
Stepford Wives, I guess.
Yeah.
That's right.
Stepford Wives.
Oh no, wait. It wasn't Tina Louise. I feel like wasn't she like nominated for like a Golden Globe for Best New Star for like some movie before Gilligan's Island? Like she was in some movie with like, I don't know, Rock Hudson or something.
If only I had a magical box to look up facts about Tina Louise for you, Mike.
Yeah, look up Tina. I know Tina Louise had something that put her on the map before Gilligan's Island, and I think
I can tell you another actress that won Best New Artist at the Golden Globes, and that's Pia Zadora.
Yeah, it still looks like most of what Tina Louise did was TV work.
She won. Her breakthrough role was in '58 for God's Little Acre, and she received the Golden Globe for New Star of the Year.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
She's also in The Wrecking Crew, the Matt Helm movie.
Oh yeah.
And then she is the last living cast member of the Gilligan's Island show after the death of Don Wells of The Town That Dreaded Sundown fame. And she also had a record album, It's Time for Tina, which came out in 1957.
That meant something different in the 90s.
Yeah, Coleman Hawkins, the famous sax player, played on that record.
Lil Abner with Jerry Lewis.
Yeah. She also published a couple kids' books, too. So, yeah, Tina Louise did some stuff. I imagine she also was in Little Abner, the stage play of it. So she did some stuff.
When I worked at Tower Records in the 90s, and they reissued her old like album on CD, and we had like a big display for it. I worked at Tower Records in the Castro in San Francisco, so it was like every queen wanted that copy of that album.
Also, this movie had not one but 2 stars of Chopping Mall. Tony O'Dell and Carrie Emerson are both in Chopping Mall. So
Mike picked them out.
Yeah. And obviously Jerry Butler and Amber Lynn. That's like, for like, I know who they are. Like, you fucking pervert. Like, that guy seems really familiar. That's Rod Town and Jerry Butler. Oh, okay. And Marty Rustam also did Psychic Killer and produced Eaten Alive. That's my other big fact for this movie. So, again, he's to blame for this.
I feel like he was. I don't know what. I'd love to know more about the making of this film. Like, did a script
Yeah.
even exist, or did he just sort of write like construct a narrative around what's like? He's like, okay, we have a hospital we can shoot in. We have these old veteran actors who owe me something, and we have all these young sluts who are willing to get naked. How can we put all this together into one movie? I'll write it tonight.
And we have Aquarius releasing her like, you know what, put the Millennium Falcon on the cover. Let's have a girl that looks like she should be on mud flaps from a truck and the Millennium Falcon. Everybody's going to want to see this.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
was going
love
to
it.
ask you that. What spaceship was that
The Millennium Falcon, yeah, on the spaceship for the poster for this, yeah.
on the poster? But
Yeah.
in the trailer, it's from a
Oh.
different movie.
Oh man, I don't know. That's pretty wild. I imagine it's probably a Don Doler movie.
It looks like it could be a Don Doler film. I'm not sure. Or what was the other movie I was going to say? It's not Galaxy of Terror. It looks kind of Galaxy of Terror-ish.
Battle Beyond. It's like the Corman reused all the Battle Beyond the Stars stuff a million times. This
Okay.
is Neville Brand. Oh, it is the Colonial Shuttle from Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
That's where it came from. I'm sure he did not pay for that because that Universal owned that. He wasn't like, hey, Universal, can I maybe use this ship footage you paid millions of dollars for? And that show went off the air because of how expensive it was. Mike, I do have some facts that might help you. The John Carradine, Tina Louise, and Julie Newmar hospital scenes were just shot in one day, and that was their day. Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah.
Did you? I love how so in the garage they had all these Playboy like magazines like taped to the walls, like all these Playboy posters. And and then amid all of that, they had this random poster of like Sophia Loren from the 50s or something like.
That had to be the director. He's like, "Why? There's no beautiful women. Put up pictures."
We have to class it up. Maybe he was mad. Maybe he probably asked Sophia Loren to be in the movie and she refused. And so he's like, "Well, I'll put you in my movie somehow."
I thought that was Sandra Bernhard.
This is my favorite. This is a good fact. I'm just going to read this in its whole. This is the only mainstream appearance of Crystal Breeze and Judy Swafford, adult stars. Producers cast them because they could not find any other regular actresses to perform nude. Breeze went fully nude for her scene in the woods, and Swafford shot a topless scene where Tracy Escobar, who was on set, decided to be in it because she thought it'd be fun to be in it, so she rubbed lotion on her breasts. She just was in it and didn't even get paid. It's her only film appearance. So there you go. People were just like, you know what? This looks awesome. Like, what's this movie about? And we're just gonna, I don't know. And she, okay, I'll be in it.
This movie kind of reminded me of something like that. Oh God, what's the name of the guy who made Blood of Dracula's Castle? You know,
Al Adamson.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of an Al Adamson movie because you can kind of see how, like the whole thing with the teenagers, you could have been shot a year before the stuff with Tina Louise and John Carpenter or John Carradine. You know, it's like it just felt like it was sort of patched together. Like, what's marketable this week?
How is what's his name from Famous Monsters not in this?
Forrest Ackerman.
It really feels like Forrest Ackerman should just have a walk on at some point in this movie, and yet he doesn't.
Yeah.
The same Marty Raston made one other movie, a James Dean biopic with Casper Van Dien playing James Dean.
Yeah.
And Carrie Mitchum was in it as well, and Diane Ladd.
Oh no.
And Robert Mitchum. Holy shit! Is George Stevens? Oh my god! And Connie Stevens and Casey Kasem. I got to find this movie because this movie is hitting all my buttons.
So did he just have like all these? Were all these old stars just friends of his? Did he give like the best parties or something? Or
I think he was like, you know how there's horror movies that come out now and there's a lot of Friday the 13th actors. And I'm like, you just went to a convention and shot this in the hotel afterwards.
Right, yeah.
I think he was the originator of that style of movie where he was like, you know, we're having a pool party. Maybe you want to be in the scene. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he produced a movie called Please Don't Eat the Babies, which I've never seen. The Savage Harbor, Psychic Killer. He produced Pets, the 1973 movie. So obviously, no morals. He produced. Speaking of Al Adamson, he produced Dracula versus Frankenstein. Marty Rustum. So your Al Adamson thought really does make sense. And the Female Bunch, which I imagine is a female-themed Wild Bunch ripoff. So. There you go.
I just watched that Al Adamson doc on Shudder.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It was sad. You have such a cool life, and then you just get buried under a hot tub.
And no one knows
Yeah.
for like years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's creepy. I saw something on the ID network about it. I had been watching it for about 5 minutes, and I was like, why does this seem so familiar? Oh my God, that's Al Adamson. A tragic end, but look at what he left us. Dracula versus Frankenstein.
My favorite scene in that movie is when Forrest Ackerman's driving Dracula, and Dracula's talking about how he's like, I am the lord of the manor of Carpathia, and he's like hypnotizing him, and he goes, turn left. Like literally says it. Like you're controlling his mind. You don't have to give him fucking directions. I've watched that scene about 1,000 times. It's amazing.
Who played Dracula in that? Wasn't that like his accountant or something, or somebody random? Yeah.
Yeah, that's very Ed Wood though, isn't it? You know, Ed Wood had his chiropractor played in Plan 9, took over for Lugosi.
He looked like one of the big porn guys from the 70s, like Jamie Gillis or somebody. I'm not sure. He reminds me of the Dracula guy. Reminds me of a porn actor.
Oh man!
Not that I've seen any movies like that.
No, I've never seen Dracula Sucks. Ever. So
Dracula Sucks was directed by one of the guys who directed Cataclysm. You know, the Philip Jordan thing. I found out the reason why that movie had 3 directors was because the wife kept getting them fired.
How? Was she pushing them down the stairs or something?
She was a, I don't know. She seems like a piece of work. She was going to Philip Jordan at night and be like, honey, this director wants me to emote. Get rid of him.
Oh, Philip. I knew we wouldn't make a whole episode without talking about Philip Jordan, and I'm very happy that this is every conversation Mike and I have. It's either about Carol Baker, Philip Jordan, or who else? What's her name from Basic Instinct? Sharon Stone. These are the things Mike and I talk about on a regular basis.
Sharon Stone just posted an Instagram today where she's standing in a bikini, and it's one of those like, look at me, I'm so brave and untouched in my photo thing, and everyone's like, you're beautiful at any age, Sharon.
Doesn't she know Jamie Lee Curtis cornered that market?
I know. Well, she's just jealous. She's like, Jamie Lee Curtis has another like Halloween movie coming out, and she's like, well, while she's busy with that, I'm gonna do the middle-aged woman in a bikini thing.
Becca just yelled she needs to get the Activia deal now that Jamie Lee's done with the different yogurt. Like, what yogurt can we get Sharon Stone to sell?
Right.
I'm here for Yoplait, and I look fabulous in a swimsuit.
A diuretic yogurt or something. Like,
look, I'm in the hamburger.
Oh man.
And Sam is in the MasterCard logo.
Yes, I am.
You're just in an oval, Mike.
I know.
Mike, I have to tell you, I should have texted you yesterday. I watched Fake Out, the Pia Zadora movie with Telly Savalas. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
No,
where she's a government witness, and Telly Savalas is the FBI agent that's supposed to keep her safe. And there's a lot of fake outs. And it's basically Pia Zadora won't get out of a bathtub for once. She's like, I'm not going anywhere.
So I have another weird thing. Okay, so you remember earlier we were talking, I was telling you, Bill mentioned the movie The Skeleton Key, and I said that one of the actresses from Boarding House was a prop master on The Skeleton Key.
Uh-huh.
That same actress was Pia Zadora's stand-in in Fake Out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, everything is connected.
I watched it and I'm like, surely Mike Justice has seen Fake Out. And I didn't get a chance to text you because it really felt like the kind of movie that we talk about.
Yes, we have seen A Name for Evil, or at least I have.
I have, yes.
I have it.
Oh, Robert Culp shows it all.
Real life murderer.
Oh, that's the one where he gets naked, right?
Yes. Yeah. Everybody in that movie gets naked.
Right.
Yeah.
Including, isn't Samantha Eggar in that?
Yes.
Have you guys seen the PG-rated pirate movie with Kirk Douglas and Yul Brynner and Samantha Eggar called Light at the End of the World? Where this is why the 70s was so fucking fucked up. It's a PG-rated, like kind of like a family adventure, swashbuckling adventure, and Samantha Eggar plays the villain. And at the end of the movie, as her comeuppance, Kirk Douglas hands her over to a ship full of pirates to be gang raped to death. And they're just like, well, that's what you get for being a bitch. And like, and it's like the credits roll. Like,
they do like a freeze laugh as they sail away.
Right, they're all like doing Hanna-Barbera, like synchronized, like chuckles.
Oh man, I do believe in our next movie, Samantha Egger's in it. Bill and I have talked about it numerous times. Samantha Egger provided her own wardrobe for this next movie. That's my theory. It explains so much of her outfits.
She's just looks like she's having a ball on this like trip to Mexico. She's like, we get to go sightseeing, and then we pretend that a rubber hand is killing us for a couple of hours each day. And
then at night we go to the most fabulous restaurant.
It's insane. This movie is insane, and that's why Sam loves it. I know. That's why I love it. Mike, I can't speak for you. Why do you love Demonoid?
I love Demonoid because it's just absolutely ridiculous, and I feel like nobody. I don't know why nobody in the movie like the people making the movie don't realize how ridiculous it is, and you can tell the actors do, but they're just kind of having a good time. Like Samantha Egger's just like, okay, oh no, it's the hand, run.
I was having a fit because the freeze frame was of her screaming when we went into the show. God, I'm glad this reel is like 2 minutes long so I can stop laughing.
Yeah,
I don't know why I have the giggles.
Also, the thing about Demonoid is it feels like it was made. It doesn't feel like a movie from 1981. It feels like if you told me it was made in like 76 or 77, I'd be like, yeah, okay. It doesn't feel like we're in the 80s, but yet it is.
Yeah, it does kind of fit. Like the occult theme definitely feels mid 70s, and just the kind of there's no teenagers in it. There's no slashers. There's no like nudity. It's like just two like how old were they at that point? Like in their 40s, probably.
Yeah,
like 240 something like veteran actors like running away from a rubber hand in an exotic location is just not very 81.
Yeah, you know what? It's the Mexican cut Macabre has more dialogue, more death scenes, and a totally different ending. So yeah, it's on the Vinegar Syndrome disc that I have here, and it has different art. The other art is really wild for it. It has the hand coming out, and there's the Macabre art for it.
So Macabre might be the version that I remember where Samantha Egger has all these extra bits of dialogue where she's like really blasé about the hand.
Yeah.
Like everything else, when they market it in America.
I just want to watch the poster for 2 hours.
When they market movies in America, they cut everything out of them and just leave in the sex and the violence.
I watched Macabre and Demonoid, and I can't remember exactly what the difference was. I do remember at the time being kind of impressed by the differences, but
yeah. Demonoid.
Demonoid. It was first released in June of 1981 in the States, and I thought it would have come out in Mexico before it came out here, but that isn't correct. According to IMDb, it wasn't released in Mexico until November of 81.
Huh.
So maybe they called Samantha Egger back to record some additional scenes.
Well, they did that so they could say a hit, and it played in America. It was a big hit.
We have to expand the version for Mexico. So anyway, this is in Des Moines, Iowa, June 19th, 1981. And then after that, it played in El Paso. This is from El Paso with Night Creatures as the B-side.
Oh, man.
Or B-side as the B feature. Flip the movie over, and on the other side is Night Creatures. That's the Peter Cushing film, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe so, yeah.
I don't know what else could be called Night Creatures, although who knows with these drive-in dates.
Yeah.
Some more contemporary films. The Howling. It's contemporary.
Not from the Cats. What?
That was already a couple years old by the time this came out. But The Howling was new. And this is from South Bend in June of 1981. And I don't really know what this artwork is. They keep flashing to it in the film. And I don't think that this artwork... Sam, correct me if I'm wrong. Does the artwork ever move?
It barely moves. Yeah, it looks like an animatic almost.
Look at this Dusk to Dawn lineup with Satan's Slave, The House That Vanished, and The Night Evelyn Came Out of the Grave.
I love every movie that's playing that night.
How could you go wrong?
You can't.
Is Satan's Slave who made that?
That is
Norman J. Warren?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, well, it could have been another movie because according to IMDb, Satan's Slave, oh no, wait, that's the other Satan's Slave. Yeah, it was probably the Norman J. Warren movie. There's a foreign film called Satan's Slave too.
Yeah.
It came out in 82. But anyway, what a fabulous night at the drive-in. Dusk to Dawn. And I know there's at least one other one. Oh, here's a triple with The Prowler.
Oh, that's right in my heart.
Santa's Slave.
A Rankin and Bass film. Those things were terrifying enough. Here's a full screen one. Look, they put S on the end of it. Demonoids. And look at what the B feature was. Another oid.
Oh, Jess Franco. Or not Jess Franco. What's his name? Klaskinski.
Yes.
Is that the Klaskinski one? Okay.
Yeah. The Canon movie. Yeah.
We just did it on the show a couple weeks ago. And here it is.
Right,
Again.
I was gone.
Smash code hit.
Yeah. That Smash Schizoid.
Yeah. You've all heard of that Smash Schizoid.
Okay.
Grease
so,
too.
Yeah, here's Macabre playing in America at Spanish-speaking theaters. There was a brief release in 1982.
Wow.
And
The Hand of the Devil.
Yeah, this is from Reno, July 1982. And Macabre will make another appearance in our gallery.
Man, Megaforce too? Come on.
I had to include this, number one, so we could talk about all these contemporary movies that are playing with it, but also House of Exorcism is the B feature.
Oh, man. I love that as a double feature. That's a great double feature. Everything else seems kind of boring by comparison, though I do love Nice Dreams, but, you know, Demonoid and House of Exorcism are in a category by themselves.
I love Private Benjamin.
Yeah.
Julie Andrews gets topless in SOB.
Oh, Demonoid.
That's a great. This art is beautiful, though. I love this art right here.
Yeah, I chose this one because there's a close up on that figure that's in the ad.
Yeah. Let's go see it at 1:30 in the afternoon.
It's very death metal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, oh, there's some more. This is Back to the Beginning. There were more dates as it played under the original title, Macabre. And there's one with some nice artwork I have to show you. Okay, this is the other one. Okay, there it is. So it actually did have some newsprint artwork under the title Macabre. And unfortunately, this is the only ad that I could find that had any kind of image associated with it where it was playing as Macabre. This is for...
It's funny because El Hombre La Bestia is a much older movie, too. So maybe it was like, well, that's what we got.
Mm-hmm. This was at the Linda Vista in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And this is, you know, they generally showed Spanish-speaking films there. I did a series from Albuquerque, and I ran a lot of ads for Mexican films playing at the Linda Vista, and this was one of them. And here's another Macabre date.
Wow.
Not sure where this one's from. But anyway, that's our second movie, Macabre.
Why did they have
Demonoid?
Why did they do the Macabre cut and the Demonoid cut? Do you know the story behind that? Because I know it wasn't like it was like kind of like the Italian cut of Dawn of the Dead. Like they had like in Mexico, they had a reason to have it re-edited or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I just assumed it was the original cut and that they removed everything for the American market, and that's all.
Mm-hmm. Would you guys like a drink?
Yes.
We're dying of thirst, Sam.
I'm dying of thirst. Bill, earlier there was a request to see your T-shirt, by the way. So.
Oh, there was? Oh.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, we didn't talk about my T-shirt tonight.
Yeah. What is it?
Nobody commented on it. Do you know who it is?
Is it Jim Jones?
I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm going to see if anyone in the chat can guess who is on my T-shirt.
It's Jim Jones.
Somebody knows. You think this is Jim Jones on my T-shirt?
Well, I thought because what's his name from our second movie played Jim Jones in that, so I thought it was a clever tie into his past.
It is not Jim Jones. That's an incorrect guess.
I can no longer give answers. Sorry, everybody.
Mike, do you want to give a guess?
I don't know.
Earth to Mike.
I don't know. He looks familiar.
Well, I'll give you your first hint. It's not a dude.
What?
So, guess again. Well,
Is
we'll do another try after Sam does his drink.
Is it Nancy Culp from Beverly Hillbillies?
No.
All right.
It's not from Vampire Circus.
Oh. Is it Pin? Someone said?
It's not Pin.
Oh, that's a good guess, though. So this is the devil's hand, and it's going to start because, I mean, it's a Mexican drink, so it has tequila in it. I mean, I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but it seemed to make sense. So it's going to have 1.5 ounces of tequila. And Mike, I'm sorry I didn't have Becca shoot this. I know she does a lot better when.
Oh, is that John Lazar on your shirt?
It is not John Lazar. No.
Another great guess.
It's not. It's not a dude.
Neither is John Lazar. 1/2 ounce of triple sec. 2 ounces of pineapple juice. What is this going to taste like? God only knows. He ain't talking. All right. Thanks, Steve, for putting up the recipe. 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, which is I'm going to test my resolve here to open. And then 1/2 ounce of lime juice. I'm going to use Rose's sweetened lime juice. Ask for it by name. Not sponsored by Rose's. I'm just trying. I'm trying to get one of these brands to sponsor the show. I don't think it's ever going to happen. All right, 1/2 ounce of that. Now, here's where this drink gets a little weird. This is where I'm kind of afraid of it, but I think it's good to be afraid of things every once in a while. It's going to have 1/2 ounce of egg white. What? Becky just said, what? 1/4 ounce, sorry. 1/4 ounce egg white. And then a teaspoon of ginger. I use a lot of ginger, so we'll squeeze ginger in here. All right, now let's shake that up. All right. My fabulous new drinking glass that Becca got me from Home Goods. It is a skull for the show.
Is that in the Halloween collection?
Yes. There's the drink. So, Mike, I'm glad you're on the show. Bill, Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
I'm very happy with how this came out. Unexpected taste.
I made a cocktail of my own. I just I did 1 ounce of Kraken, 1 ounce of vanilla vodka, and a Coke. So.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's not too shabby.
Yeah. Did we ask if this is anyone's first time watching Demonoid?
We did not, and I think we just did.
Awesome. And we should maybe do some teases for next week's episode. Perhaps.
Okay, so the first film. Okay, well, I guess we could just say that they are both canon released horror films.
Yes.
Beast in the Cellar.
No.
Okay.
One of them is produced by Canon. The other one is only distributed by Canon. How about that?
Right, but they're both horror films.
Yes.
Did Canon do horror films? I feel like all they did was action movies.
They distributed a lot of them.
Especially earlier, right? Like earlier on in Canon's history, they did horror.
Yeah.
Oh, Last Rites. That's what you're showing. I know you guys have been talking about it for months.
Maybe.
Maybe one of the other ones just got said in the chat, too. It's not 10 to midnight. God damn it, I wish it was.
Savage Weekend. Oh, yeah, because you just watched Schizoid and you're like, let's delve into this director's other work.
My favorite scene in 10 to midnight is when Bronson is interrogating that kid and pulls out the dick pump and he goes, you know what this is for? It's for getting off. And he like throws it across the room. Like, okay, Chuck, it's cool.
Thanks to everyone for joining us in the second segment. I see lots of fabulous folks out there. I see Carly from Candy Apple Blue. Paul, you looks like you came back. I'm finally like my eyes are getting so bad I can't even really see the chat anymore. But Kill That Matt. Nice to see you too, Matt Cowger. Oh, you know what? It is Matthew Beeb's birthday. So if you're out there, Matt, happy birthday to you. It was also AC Nicholas's birthday this week. I know we said happy birthday to him last week, but we can say it again. Chris Fisinick, please let him know we wished him a very happy birthday.
Yeah, and it's Chip's wife's birthday too, right?
That's right, Karen.
Yeah, Karen's birthday. Yeah.
It's Karen's birthday.
So happy birthday.
So happy birthday to you. There's lots of fabulous people being born.
It's also Tom Skerritt's birthday, Becca said. If anybody on camera enjoys Tom Skerritt, I wouldn't know any that do, but if you do enjoy Tom Skerritt.
So, Mike, I can't ask Sam this, but I'll ask you, is Tom Skerritt hot?
Yeah, I think so. I not crazy hot, but I remember him in Poison Ivy, and I was like, I'm Drew Barrymore's age, and I was like, yeah, probably fuck him.
But I wasn't. I say Tom Skerritt's hot. Am I not allowed to think Tom Skerritt's hot?
Oh, well, it wouldn't be the same thing.
It's yeah. It's like is Tom. Yeah. I don't know. Tom Skerritt.
I would say he's attractive. Not would I want to fuck Tom Skerritt. I think that's what you guys are saying in a very nice way.
Or like, yeah, exactly. He's like, but he's not. I don't know. I mean, I've never really thought. I mean, he's good enough, but it's not like I see him in movies and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm so distracted watching Alien. All I can see is Tom Skerritt. You know.
But what about The Legacy? Isn't The Legacy the one you're thinking of, Bill, that Tom Skerritt's in?
That's Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Never mind. That's a different thing.
Definitely not Tom Skerritt. I was even going to say that. Like, Tom Skerritt's okay. I liked him in Alien, I think, because he had a beard. And I always look at the bearded guy first.
Yeah.
But out of the entire cast of Alien, Parker was more my type. Yaphet Kotto. But Tom Skerritt would have been my second choice from the Nostromo crew. But there was something else. Sam Elliott is the one that's in The Legacy.
Yeah. Becca just said in a very husky voice, love him. And is giggling to herself in the background.
I've always said that Sam Elliott is the male Phoebe Cates. Because he's a good actor and he's just ludicrously hot and has no problem just being naked if that's what you want.
He likes it.
I like that Phoebe Cates just runs like a shop in New York now for rich women. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, yeah, I did it all. It's fine. I'm good.
You know who was doing that too was the actress Jeanette Goldstein from Aliens and stuff. She had a lingerie store in LA and my friend took me to it. It was called like Jeanette's Bras or something. Like I was like, wow, you're famous.
Yeah.
Selling
BB
lingerie.
Gates is like, I kicked off so many different, what do you call it? So many different boys into puberty. I'm done. I did it. So
Right.
what is on your shirt? I think that's important.
One last chance to guess who this is. She's from a soap opera.
Oh, is that somebody from Dark Shadows?
Yeah, that's Dr. Hoffman.
Ah.
Julia Hoffman from Dark Shadows, played by Grayson Hall.
Is it Carol Baker?
It's not Carol Baker.
By the way, that's another Mike Justice in that conversation. An Umberto Lenzi quote. He said, Carol Baker had a great ass. That was his whole quote.
I know. Here's my shirt. I don't know if you.
Oh, man. Love it.
You're good people, Mike Justice.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was going around. I kept forgetting that I was wearing this, and then I'd be at like Starbucks, and the person was just like staring at my shirt, and I'm just like, "What's his problem?" Oh, yeah, there's like somebody with a meat cleaver sticking out of their forehead on my shirt.
Man, Nora said, if anyone cares, she's high as hell enjoying pork rinds. I care. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All for that.
We encourage that.
Yeah.
It's that kind of show.
Mm-hmm. Man, this is the first cocktail I made with ginger in it, and it's not going to be the last. I'm really pleased as punch with this punch I've made.
Oh yeah, Hospital Massacre is a canon movie.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It could be one of the two movies that we're doing next week.
You'll only have to tune into the next segment to find out.
I really like that movie. I hated it when I was a kid because it was too idiosyncratic and arty and bizarre, and I love it for that same reason as an adult. Like as a kid, I was like, how come it's not more boilerplate? Like, why is it so eccentric? And then like as an adult, I'm like, that's great.
Yeah. I don't like Barbie Benton.
Perfectly said. I think I never liked it, and now I love it because it's just so, again, it's one of those movies that we love where it seems like it's taking place in some alternate universe that's kind of like Earth, but not quite.
Yeah, it is kind of a messiah of evil.
Yes.
The killer has a plan in that movie that is predicated on so many coincidences of happening. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how does this was your plan? And like for years, for this many years, and you waited until Valentine's Day, and it just happened to be like that? Yeah, that's how it is.
Well, and also, if you are the kind of person who is so broken that you would hold on to a rejection that occurred to you when you were 9 years old and try to kill them as an adult, wouldn't that sort of preclude you from being able to like go to medical school and be a doctor and be a professional? Like, wouldn't your brokenness like manifest in other areas?
Like, maybe it did.
I was thinking about that because Bill and I talk about how broken what's her name is in Halloween, but if we listen to the dialogues, I just rewatched Halloween Kills again a couple weeks ago. I don't know why, but like when she's in the hospital bed and Jamie Lee Curtis is talking to that guy, he's like, "Remember when we were at that bar and we kissed that night?" At some point, she wasn't broken, and at some point, she used to go to bars and hang out and just make out with random dudes. What happened? Like, did she suddenly get old and was like, I think Michael's coming back? Because in this continuity, if we follow this continuity, he's never come back. Did she have like late onset PTSD? Because at some point she was super into it.
I think it was more like that she was like hiding from her trauma by drinking and being promiscuous. But I mean, here's the thing though. I mean, if you've ever been to the Midwest, especially a town like that's supposed to be like the size of Haddonfield, you don't have to be a broken, traumatized person to be at bars every night, like having sex with strangers. That's just what you do.
Yeah. Like the people that stay behind my hometown have hooked up outside of their social cast because they're the only ones left. Like you used to be like a cheerleader, and like that dude was like a metal dude, and you would never even talk to him. Yeah, we got 3 kids now.
Yeah,
we stuck around. Like that's how it works out.
Right. So So I don't know. I mean, I was just kind of I kind of thought the trauma that Laurie has just doesn't seem like, you can't like, that's the problem is that if you criticize it, somebody like, if you say like, why would you still be so broken up just because somebody chased you with a knife for a couple hours 30 years ago? And they'll be like, well, maybe you don't think that trauma is real, but it really is. And it's like, so
it's triggering.
Yeah, so it's like whoever made that movie basically guaranteed that people will white knight him and his plot choices based on principle, and he doesn't really have to like actually, explain why she would be traumatized still.
I like in one continuity, speaking like we talked about the killer in X-Ray going to medical school. In one continuity, she's done enough with her life that she runs a pretty prestigious academy for, like a pretty great private school. And she's done some stuff. And in the other continuity, she's just a girl that went to bars and then suddenly got agoraphobia. Like it's very night and day. Like which movie is better for her life?
I liked H2O. I thought that was fun to watch when it came out.
I love H20. I don't
It's
think you're
just
supposed to say H2O.
H20. It's just very dated and stuff.
Yeah.
Becca just yelled LL Cool J as a non sequitur. She's like, LL Cool J.
That's right.
What?
Sort of like
He is writing a romance novel. That's his cute subplot in the story.
And then an erotic thriller.
Yes.
I don't know. Not every part of that movie was great, but it's 2/3 of a fantastic film, and the important 2/3 are the good parts, especially I think it has a very satisfying climax, if a little ridiculous, but it's what
which
we
is
all
ruined
want
by
to see.
instantly aliens by the next movie.
Yeah.
Luckily, nobody saw it. God, Halloween Resurrection.
I saw both of them the first day in the theater. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be the good Halloween. No, it wasn't.
Well, what's funny is that Halloween, every time it has a comeback, it always the sequel like immediately messes it up. Like Halloween 4 was like everyone was like, "Oh, this is cool! It's a return to form," and then Halloween 5 came out and it was stupid. And Halloween Resurrection like fucked over H2O, and then a lot of people feel like Halloween Kills ruined whatever Halloween 2018 had built, and it's like
it's the Star Trek thing. The even movies are better. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the inverse Star Trek.
Are you guys? Are you looking forward to? Well, I know Bill is salivating at the thought of Halloween Ends because he loves Michael Myers. He loves Halloween movies. He's obsessed with them.
We're gonna go. Becca and I have talked. Becca obviously loves Halloween. We're gonna go, but she's like, I already know I'm gonna hate it. I'm like, yeah, I know. But I also know it's on Peacock, so she'll watch it at least 15 more times. She'll watch it 3 times the next day. She watches them until she likes them. Do you know what I mean? Like she gets like battered by them. And then finally she's like, yeah, they're all right. Each one that comes out makes like this one will make H2O feel like The Prowler. Do you know what I mean? Like H2O is going to come up higher as a movie. Do you know what I mean? Versus all of the Rob Zombie movies, I like way better. So these movies have made the Rob Zombie movies better. So he should be really happy about that.
Well, he's got his monsters, so.
Before we break to start the second film, I should talk about this a little bit. That came in the mail the other day for me. It came from Hollywood, Book 2.
Yeah.
Salute to Slashers, edited by Paul McVeigh and Robert Fries. Yeah, there you go. They're twins.
Who's that screaming on the cover?
Isn't that from?
That
for a minute, I thought it was from Virus, The Night of the Zombies, but it couldn't be if it's a salute to slashers. So I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, it's available on Amazon. You can order it. This is like a digest style book. There are images in it, of course, but there's a lot of text in this. So this is very in-depth writing. And I'm riffing because I didn't have a chance to actually read it.
It also has a really great the book for what do you call it? The press book for My Bloody Valentine reprinted within it too, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it's really very in depth, and you're gonna love it.
Bill, are you excited about that new novelization of My Bloody Valentine?
Oh, I did, Roz. I tore right through it.
Someone asked me to show this. This is my Gates of Hell shirt that I'm wearing. You didn't see it. Which is coming out on all sorts of Fulci news this week. How about that, Bill? With the Beyond coming out from Grindhouse releasing, and Gates of Hell coming out from, or City of the Living Dead, coming out from Diabolic's label, Cauldron.
It's the composer cut of the Beyond that's coming out via Grindhouse releasing. Can you explain that? The composer cut?
Yeah, we saw it live. Fabio Frizzi has a new they created a version for him to play live that has less, just like a couple standout lines of dialogue, and they kind of compress some of the scenes, and it's more made for playing live music too. It's really cool. So I think you'll like it a little more, Bill, because like some of the scenes, like the spider scenes, seem a little chopped down a little bit, and are a little more actiony with the music. So it's really cool. I'm excited for it to come out. I obviously love that movie, and I'm a big Fulci apologist. my brother's at the Toronto Fan Expo, and he bought a ton of posters this week, and he said, "Do you want this Manhattan Baby poster?" And it was like $300, and I was like, "Yes, but do I need a $300 Manhattan Baby poster?" And I have to explain to Becca why I have a $300 Manhattan Baby poster. Oh yeah, House of Clocks and House of Lost Souls too, coming out from Cauldron, which are the TV movies, Fulci TV movies. So lots of good stuff coming out. There's always tons of stuff coming out, but those are super exciting for me. So, and I'm really excited to watch Demonoid with you guys. So let's I see that film reel getting ready to spin.
Demonoid, Messenger of Death. Oh, I guess I didn't drop the link in the chat. I'm such a terrible host.
It's on Tubby if you have Tubby.
Yeah, we watch it on Tubi because there's a VHS rip on YouTube if you want to watch that one. But I don't know. That brings up an interesting point. A lot of the reasons that I didn't like these movies the first time I saw them is because I rented them on VHS and the print was terrible. Sometimes it was just depressing watching a really bad print of a movie. And I think Demonoid was one of those because I looked at the VHS rip that was online and it was horrible. So
it's one of the first Blu-rays I bought because Vinegar Syndrome put it out, and I was like, God, must have this.
It's definitely worth sitting through Tubi's commercials to watch it. So there's the link. You'll have to copy and paste it. The links aren't clickable in the BeLive chat function. But Mike Justice will be here for the third segment, correct?
Yeah.
All right, because we have to talk about Samantha Egger some more after we watch the movie.
Oh no, that hand.
Oh, drat.
No, not that hand again.
Sam will have some more to say too, I'm sure. So come back. Be with us on the third segment of the Drive-In Asylum. Comment of the night, Dustin.